Welcome back, friends. We're going to talk today about several things, actually. We're going to talk mainly about the scene area, but before we start on that, we're going to talk about the settings, and we're going to do that by opening a new project over here, and we're going to, after I show you that, and come over here to import content and show you about starting the project there. Because there's some important settings that we have to do when we do this, else our videos will come out wrong. And I'll explain it as we go along here. So first of all, we're going to start with start a new project. And we're going to leave this project. Now I'm going to name it new project. I'm not going to put project, I'm just going to put pro. New pro. Okay, I'm going to leave this at free configuration, resolution 1280 by 720. I think that is the video size. No, it's not. Never disregard that last statement. 1280 by 720. Yes, this is the video I want to bring in. I'm going through all of that. I need to show you what I'm going to do here first. The video I'm going to bring in right now is this one that's sharp cropped. And the settings for that are, if you look down there, when that window pops up again, it says, where it says video, and it says 1080 by 1080. That's the size of my video. So I need to make my project that size, and this is the way you do it here. You can either do it from this drop down box, and in my drop down box I don't have a 1080 by 1080, so I need to come over here and change it manually to 1080 by 1080. And I'm doing it with the arrows, but I can actually type it in, and the next time when I get dropped down to the height down there, I'll type it in so you can see. Yeah, it would have been faster if I just did that in the first place, huh? Alright. Move that over. 1080. Okay. And my sound, I'm going to leave that at that, and then leave stereo at that. But this box right here, we need to, when we're starting a project, we need to make sure this matches the size of the project that we want it to be. Normally when the first video you're opening is the one that you want to be working on, so you want your project to match that size. So anyway, let's go ahead and open this up. Okay, and you see I have a square box. Let me close this because we don't need this right now. Okay, we have a square box. That's our canvas right there. Now when I open this video up in here, it's going to fit perfectly in our canvas here, because we put the right dimensions in there. Sharp cropped, and it is 1080 by 1080 like I said. So all I gotta do is click it and open it, and this should fill that box perfectly. Well, after my dialog box here. And I normally click from scene begin and add new layer, but I don't have to, because you know, I can just hit from cursor because it's at the beginning anyway. So let me click OK. Now, as I said, my video opened perfectly in that box. That's one way of importing content, putting the settings in manually. Anytime you start a new project from wherever you do it, if you do it from up here at the from that button right there, if you do it from there, if you start a new project from anywhere, you'll have to put those settings in manually like we did. But if you open it, let me close this here real quick. I mean, if you start your project from the import content, you don't have to put those settings in there. it'll automatically detect them. So I'm going to use this video here to show you what I'm saying. It'll automatically put, you see this is 1280 by 720, and it'll automatically put it in there at 1280 by 720. So let me open this. Wait for my computer to figure out what it wants to do here. And you see it picked HD 1280 by 720, 16 by 9 pixels, and the width and the height there 720 by 1280 or 1280 by 720, and it even got the sound correctly. So yeah, it's important to have this stuff right, as I said, because if you don't have your resolution, which is the same thing, this is resolution, if you don't have that set correctly, you're going to have black bars at the top of your video and on the sides of your video, that type of stuff. So it really has to match if you don't want those bars there. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you match your frames per second down here to the video that you import, because if you don't, what happens is you wind up with things like your video is playing and your mouth is moving and the sound is behind it, or the other way around, either the sound is before it, and and everything is all out of sync. So this is the way you avoid the problems, by putting the right settings in there in the first place, and your computer doesn't have to be trying to catch up and figure out things that it doesn't need to. So anyway, we got all our settings correct, and it like I said, when I did the import content, it did it automatically. So that's an easy way for you to import your stuff in without having to worry about things. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna click finish, and my video opened up right in the box there, perfect. When I get done with this and I decide to export it, I'm not gonna do it actually, but if I was to export it when my video comes out, it would be perfect. There wouldn't be no black bars on the side or black bars on the top or anything like that. And because I put the frames per second right, it'll be in sync. There's more to that too about the sound. Most video editors record at a variable frame rate. Not video editors, most video editors can't handle variable frame rate. If your video has been recorded at a variable frame rate and you put it into your video editor, most of them can't handle a variable frame rate. Some of them can, but most of them can't. So what you need to do is, when you record your video, try to record it at a constant frame rate, or if you can't record it at a constant frame rate, like your equipment doesn't, then after you record the video, run it through another program and convert it to a constant frame rate before you put it into your video editor, because your video editor will probably throw it out of sync. So anyway, let me go ahead. I probably should have told you that while I was on the settings area over there, but anyway, so I didn't. Well, anyway, here we are at the scene area, and I got my video in. I don't need to go over these tools up here, although I am going to go over some of them because I did it in another video. But we're going to go over the zoom tools, and basically I think that's it. There's not a whole lot to talk about in the scene area actually, except there's the place where you visualize your work. When you bring different things into it, like your objects, you'll see that stuff over here when you do it. But and other kind of things like cut and stuff like that, it's more it's going to be working more down here in the timeline when you do that. Your alignment tools, you'll see that stuff up there in the scene area. This here you'll see in the timeline. You'll see that stuff down in the timeline. Ungroup objects and stuff like that, you'll see that down in the timeline. But your zoom tools, you'll see here, and your grid. You'll see your grid in the scene area, you'll see the zoom in the scene area, and you see alignment stuff in the tool in the scene area. Sorry. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. The only ones I'm going to show you right now are the zoom tools in here. Like I said, we went all over all of this stuff anyway. So, alright, the first thing I want to show you, you see where I got my cursor down here. You bring it here, you can bring your window up and down like that there. Alright, and you notice your video didn't resize, it just moved a little bit. Alright, so, but now, if I click zoom the screen, when I do this, notice my video resizes along with it. So, you know, that can be a handy little thing for you if you, you know, you want to look at your video bigger, you can do it like that. But now, if you're like me, I don't like to do that. I like to have my videos stay the same size. So what I do is I hit zoom to fit down here, so that I have my video stays like that. The benefit of having this thing move up and down is, say for instance, sometimes you have multiple videos down here. You might have a whole slew of them down here, and if this is like this, then you can't see all of them. Something might be down there else that you want to work on, and so you need to move this up here. And that being the case, like I said, that's why I like to have my video the same size so I can always see it. I'm sure there's going to come a time when I need it the other way, but I like for mine to be right there where I can see it. Now, there's something else you need to know. Just because I did that doesn't mean I resized my video. This is just visualization right here. The only time you're gonna actually change that kind of stuff is if you go into properties and you do something like stretch your video or something like that. That's actually going to be changing the size, but we'll do that in another video. Something else about the zoom, you have different sizes. You can click here like that. Now I forget what size I went to here. 110% I went to. There's something I want to show you here. You got scroll bars over here, so if you happen to have it that big that it goes off the screen left or right, let me close this window over here, that if it goes off the screen left or right and you don't want to do what I was talking about earlier, then you can just scroll your video like that, or you know, those scroll bars are for there and make it convenient for you. You got the arrows to do it with too. Yeah, that. So that's a helpful little thing right there. And let me put my screen back like I like it. That's too much for me there. Zoom to fit. I like that. And I just like to have the whole white thing around my video. Okay, now you can resize your video right here with those, you know, with the minus arrow. You can use the slider to do it, or you can use the plus button to do it. And most of the time I'll just use the plus or minus buttons. It's just more convenient for me. That's the way I like to do things. And I don't think there's anything over here I want to show you right now. Let's see. There's one other thing that I did notice the other day when I was doing this. When I clicked the zoom to screen from over here, it didn't work the same way it did when I clicked zoom to screen over there. So let's see if it does it today. Yeah, it didn't do it today either. But I don't know what's up with that. I don't know what the deal is with that. So I'm going to have to find out what the deal is with that. Down here we have our zoom tools again. I believe this zoom screen works that way. Let's see. Yeah, that one works the same way. So I don't know why the other one doesn't work like that. And of course, the other zoom tools do work the same way as the ones up there on the toolbar. Yes. Okay, so that's it about the scene area. The important thing, like I said, is to make sure you get those settings right at the beginning there, because if you don't, I mean, when you make your videos, you really don't want to see black bars at the top or on the side, unless you're working on something in particular. You know, you may have something in particular that you're working on, and you want your black bars and things on the side, and you know, eh, that may be your personal preference, though. You know, but yeah, that's it for the scene area today. Listen, y'all take care. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you another time. Bye bye.